Newsflash. Idaho may not be for everyone. Before you decide to pack your bags, watch this video, because I'll provide an in-depth look at 10 crucial factors to consider before moving to this state. And by the end of this video, you will be way better equipped to know if you're ready to make Idaho your next home. So the state of Idaho is made up of only 2 million people, and that's spread across the whole state. So we're not a very populous state by any means. So what does that mean for our cultural scene? Well, we have festivals, museums, and a local music scene, but it's all relative to our size. So you're not moving here because you expect great cultural exposure or diversity. But as we grow larger, that is beginning to change. So of course we have an abundance of wildlife and natural beauty. I mean, look at this place that I'm standing in now. But it's not uncommon to be driving and run into, wait, I should say not run into, to see deer and elk when driving outside of town. There are eagles and hawks. Of course, there's larger animals. You'll find bears and mountain lions in the mountains, but you won't typically see those just when you're out and about. Of course, there's beavers, and they love to make a mess of our irrigation channels coming in from the Boise River. But essentially, because we're not a populous state, once you get outside of the major cities, you're likely to see all sorts of wildlife, from small animals to larger ones. And then when it comes to natural beauty, we have nearly everything. Beautiful raging rivers, lakes, snow-capped mountains. We have dense forests and high deserts. Really, the only thing we don't have would be a beach, like an ocean beach. I mean, we have lake beaches. And that can be a non-starter for a lot of people. But for some, they replace the ocean with the rivers and the ponds and the lakes. Yes, it's true. Idaho has a lower cost of living than its neighboring western states. Shopping at the grocery store costs less, eating out costs less, utilities cost less. And taxes, when you look at them as a whole across state tax, property tax, sales tax, they add up to less. But we no longer enjoy the affordable housing that we once did. Earlier this year, Ada County is where Boise is located, and it experienced a median home price increase of $33,000 in a single month. So you can't buy a 5,000 square foot home on an acre of land for $700,000 anymore. That was probably 10 or 15 years ago. If you moved to Idaho, what cost-saving changes would you look forward to the most? Share in the comments below. Idaho's education system can be a sticky subject. I've been happy with the public school system for my four children, but a lot of that is on my husband and I as parents, making sure we encourage our 4 kids to make the most of what they learn. We also live in Ada County, which is the most populous county in the state. So we have more education options available, be it school of choice with charter schools or private schools. But obviously rural and smaller communities around the state, and there are a lot, they don't have the same opportunities. And that can change the educational landscape for the state as a whole. And homeschooling is very big in Idaho. For some reason, that can be this divisive topic. So if you aren't okay with the possibility of your neighbor homeschooling their kids, maybe this isn't the place for you. But our school systems here, they make it easy for parents to homeschool, and then they still have the credits that they need to graduate. Or you work out a hybrid system where you take some classes at home and some at school. And then our high schools, they have a secondary track or a particular track that the kids can identify and follow, whether it's auto mechanics or pharmaceutical or something more skill related than your general topics that you would use when you send your kid off to college. We have a number of universities in state. Some are private, some are public. Most notably would be Boise State University, which has its infamous blue turf football field. We also recently opened the state's first medical school here in Ada County. So if outdoor recreation is not your thing, then Idaho may really not be your jam. Outdoor recreation here is not really an option. It's more ingrained in the state's fiber. Like everyone is out hiking, fishing, skiing, boating, rafting, camping, razoring, hunting. Yes, Hunting is a big activity here, and your neighbors who probably hunt will certainly offer to share in their spoils. But it's a controversial pastime, so be mindful of its large popularity when considering a move. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Erica Toffel, Global Real Estate Advisor with Group 1 Sotheby's International Realty. I specialize in helping you relocate to Boise, Idaho, or anywhere in the Treasure Valley. If you need help with any of your real estate needs, my information is on the screen. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. And if you're watching on your television screen, you can scan the QR code to contact me directly. It's no secret that Idaho as a whole leans conservative. However, Boise itself trends more liberal. But there are definitely issues that affect Idaho's political landscape. So I'd recommend doing your due diligence and researching those laws that you deem essential to you, whatever they might be. I mean, one great example is Idaho's right to bear arms and our open carry law. No, it's not something that I see commonly in the Boise area, but other parts of the state will absolutely exercise that right. The growth of Boise is such a pain point for lifetime residents, but it can also be a pain point for those moving to the state. They may be coming here for a slower lifestyle and less population, only to find that we have grown exponentially over the last several years, and that quiet, affordable state we once were no longer exists. We're doing our best to keep up with infrastructure, but it's hard given the extreme rate that we have grown at. And like I said, the lifetimers or the locals, it's hard to see a small, quiet state explode in the way that it has and at such a fast pace. Let's take a quick poll. Do you prefer living in a fast-paced growing city or a more stable, slow-paced environment? Vote in the comments below. There are a lot of intriguing reasons that you would want to live outside of the city, and there are a lot of benefits that come with that. Cost of living is lower, slower pace. You might have the space to really embrace that homestead lifestyle where you're self-sufficient. But it can also limit educational options and certainly make medical services harder to obtain. But thankfully, around the Treasure Valley, there are areas where you can still be close enough to the city, but feel like you are outside of the city. So you're close enough if you wanted to commute in for school and if you needed to access emergency medical services, but not so close that you really feel like you are in the heart of it. The largest industries in Idaho are agriculture, which would lead naturally to food processing, manufacturing, medical services. We're starting to grow within the tech industry, which is awesome. But what can happen is that people moving here can sometimes have a rude awakening. Either it's harder to find positions that they are looking for, or, there went my camera, harder to find positions that they're looking for, or just making that move with regards to salary, because Idaho salaries aren't going to pay as well as they did in our neighboring states, but our cost of living is less. So it's really something where you would have to work out sort of like that calculator of, does it make sense if you're making a little bit less, but that dollar is stretched farther when you come to Idaho? So that's always a question or something to definitely research prior to making the move here. In Idaho, we get the 4 seasons, which is awesome. That's part of the reason why I moved here. But for a lot of new residents, that shock of winter and snow can be a lot. And granted, in the Treasure Valley, where I am, it's pretty temperate. Like, we will have some snow, but it never really sticks. But there are days, I mean, I can remember the first year that I moved here, we had something that was called Snowmageddon, and it started snowing in November, and it did not let up until like February. And we had snow days for the kids. It was difficult to get around. So yes, there can be extremes and people need to be aware of that. But would I ever say that, coming from California myself, that it should have been something that kept me from moving? Never. I mean, I embrace it. My family loves it, but there definitely are winter conditions. But aside from that, I mean, we have some wind, we get mosquitoes. It's not overbearing. Winter, That would be the one thing that I think we have that is extreme at times, but never to the point of making life in Idaho not enjoyable. For more videos and information about Boise, Idaho, or Boise's real estate, click on one of my videos on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.